Hello, my name is Neville Lee, and I've lived for all of my 92 years within the borders of the former city of Camberwell. First as a young man, as a boy in Glen Iris, then built our home in Ashburton where we lived for 66 years, and now I live as a widower in Camberwell. From the age of 18, I was always regularly involved in community affairs, and probably the most challenging, certainly the most pleasurable, when I was elected to the Council of Camberwell in 1956. Yes, I'm talking of over 60 years ago. And at that time, the city of Camberwell was recognised as being second only to the city of Melbourne in terms of its prestige and its wealth. As an area that became known as Boroondara was occupied by the people of the Kulin Nation, specifically by the Wurundjeri tribe. And in the land fronting what became Camberwell Road was a lovely, huge old River Red Gum, where the Aborigines would regularly assemble to conduct their corroborees. Their activities were often watched and referred to by the early European settlers, and the area became known as the Corroboree Tree. In March 1837, Governor Burke arrived in Melbourne town under instruction to form a settlement, and he ordered the Assistant Surveyor General Robert Hoddle to lay out a plan. And the survey over what was known as the Settled District was based on a 1 mile square grid on which the main roads were placed with half-mile intervals. It was based on the concept of a village, an English village, where the village would be laid out on a 5 square mile with a reserve in the centre termed the village common or green. As settlement increased, the Boroondara Road Board was created, and there was no more suitable place to build that first town hall than adjacent to that corroboree tree. And when I joined council, the town hall and the corroboree tree was surrounded by extensive parklands. But time doesn't stand still, and throughout the late 1950s, often there was debate on the need for improvement and extension to the local government facilities, until finally, in the 1960s, a firm of architects was commissioned to draw up plans for a new civic centre with specific instructions to limit the amount of parkland that was involved and to ensure that the corroboree tree remained secure. And history shows that those terms were achieved. However, life is finite, even for lovely old river gums. And in the 1970s, the corroboree tree began losing its boughs, and a consulting arborist reported to council that the tree was rotted to its core and presented a serious danger to pedestrians. Council sadly and reluctantly authorised its removal. In the mid-1990s, the then government merged the city of Hawthorn, the city of Camberwell and the city of Kew to create the major municipal district, the city of Boroondara. And as Camberwell began taking its place in that large merged authority, it seemed to me Camberwell was losing its identity. I then learned of the project to establish the Camberwell Green. It pleased, excited me, and I decided to attend its launch. And there I found over 500 fellow residents shared my view. It's obvious it's the wish of the community that the Camberwell Green be established, and it's up to the relevant legislators now to put that into effect.